Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews. Let's go see what's in the fridge today. Hey guys, thanks for talking about Gregsbeerreviews today. Look at this bottle with wax on it. With wax on it? That means somebody stood at the end of the bottling line and dipped each one of these bottles down in a bottle of wax for no damn reason at all other than raising the price on the beer in my humble opinion. And that's the way I feel about it, guys. That just makes the beer cost more and it does absolutely nothing. It's like tits on a boar hog. Useless. Maybe in the old days when they had cork underneath the caps, and I'm talking back in the 60s, on soft drinks. Before the plastic liners on the inside of the caps were developed and used, they did put cork on there. And I don't understand why they're putting that on there. Well, you might want to lay it down. The air is trying to get into the beer and all that. So the beer is under pressure. Unless you don't have a good seal on the cap, there's no air going to get in there. And now it doesn't have cork on these caps like the old days. That's the whole reason for laying a beer down if you got a wine bottle. The cork in the top of it needs to stay wet to keep it from drying out and letting the air in. Well, not very many people that I know of, including myself, lay their beer down. I mean, if you want to cellar it, I guess you could, but not a general practice as far as I'm concerned, and there are some people that may disagree with that, and so be it. Just my humble opinion, wax on a beer bottle is useless. It just drives the cost up. I'd be more impressed with putting a bottled on date on it than putting wax on the top of it. That would be more impressive to me. So, let's get on with this one. This was sent to me by my brother Nate out there in Colorado. I do get some of the Tommyknocker beers, but I don't get a whole lot of them. This is their Over the Bar Series Bourbon Barrel Aged Imperial Nut Brown, aged 15 months in Breckenridge Distillery bourbon barrels. And that's just another reason. When they figure they're going to keep that beer in a bourbon barrel for 15 months, well, let's just go ahead and throw some wax on them. That'll even justify us charging $10, $15, $20 for a bottle of this beer. It's got wax on it. Yeah, it's an expensive beer. Not always. So, you know how I feel about the wax, guys. It makes beer cost more. They got somebody dipping each one of these bottles in a wax at the end of the line. So, I'm not a big fan of that. Alright, this is a 9%er, I think it's got here. 9%. It says, oh, look at here on the label here. It says bottled on 5/2/16. So this was bottled on May the 2nd of 2016. Beside it says 9%, and beside that it says 57 IBUs. Right there on the label, it's got every bit of the information that we need. So even though it's got wax on the top of it, they've given us the information right on the label where you can read it. 2 thumbs up to Tommyknockers for doing that. Very impressive. And if you want to dip it in, or stick it in wax, that's going to add cost to the beer, but at least they've given us the 3 bits of information that I like to see. I mean, for barrel-aged Imperial Nut Brown, maybe the day is not that critical, but I do love to see the month and the year. So let us know whether it's done in January or May, in this case, or December of that year. You'll know when it was done. So the guys at Tommyknocker, thanks. I do appreciate y'all putting that information right on the label where we can read it, and not stamped in dark ink on the bottle where you can't see it a lot of times with the beer still in there. So I do appreciate them doing that. So great job, guys, there at Tommyknocker. Uh, this says here, commercial description, age 15 months in Breckenridge and Sterling bourbon barrels, part of the bar series. Well, I've already told you all that. It's right on the front of the label. So no other pertinent information. So while I tell you about the food pairings, let me get my knife out and start carving on this wax. The cheeses are earthy, camembert, fontina, your nutty cheeses, Asiago, Colby, Parmesan. The meat is pork, grilled meat. Glassware is a pint glass. Becker Nonic tumbler mug, Stein Seidel. I'm using my favorite tulip glass for this beer today, guys. And it looks like they've used their typical Tommyknocker cap on here. Wax. Have I told you I don't like this? Yeah, I don't like wax on a beer bottle. This is not going to be laid down typically, and that would be the only reason you'd want some kind of wax if it had a cork seal or something like that on it. So, it's not recommended for semi ABV extended average range. It's a 9%er, so it does. Here we go. Very slight hiss on this beer. So, and it does have the plastic liner on it, so that's another reason why I think the wax is useless. Alright, into the glass we go. Doesn't look to be super carbonated, so let's stand it up. Pour it straight down the center. Not going to produce a very big head on this beer. And that's all I'm going to be able to get into it right now. This is a fairly big bottle. It is a 500 milliliter. Hardly any. Maybe a quarter finger or less of head on that pour. It is a murky brown. I can see just a slight hint of some light around the thin part of the glass down here in the bowl part. Nah, no light through there at all. Well, let's get a nose on this one. And Nate did send me a little note, but basically it says the same thing. Bourbon barrel aged, Imperial nut brown. Bottle on date, clearly printed on the front label. I've seen that. Very nice sweetness. Smells like a barley wine, guys. It's got a very nice sweetness on the back end. Caramel, toffee, molasses, roasted malt. Wonderful aroma. Very, very nice aroma. Not getting a super huge bourbon notes on it. Just a little. Just a little bit of bourbon notes on there. Now, it might be a little stronger on the taste, but I'm going to notice just a slight hint of the bourbon barrel aging. And 15 months, too. It should have a big, big bourbon nose if it was in the barrels that long. But I am smelling it. I am smelling it. So let's dive in and see what we got. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Nate. That's damn tasty, guys. That's very, very nice. A little bit more bourbon in the taste. It's not overpowering. Some of these bourbon barrel ages is off the chain with the bourbon on the nose and the taste. This seems to be balanced pretty well. It's not overpowering in the bourbon. But of course, according to the bottle here, this was put in on May of 2016. And today is the 27th of February of 2017. So, a good 6 months or so in the bottle. Not sure whether they use first run bourbon barrels for this, or something that's had a barrel that's had beer in it before. So, very pleasant. It is very pleasant. Very nice. I am very impressed with them putting all this information on the label with the bottled on date and ABV and IBUs. Excellent job there. Well, this is right out of the fridge. Before I sat here and flap my gums any longer, let's let it warm up, come up to room temperature. Might step out on the deck and fire up my cigar that I was smoking on earlier to go with this nice, rich, nut brown Imperial bourbon barrel aged beer. Let's see what we end up with once we sip on it here about 30 minutes. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Got just a little left. Very pleasant. The bourbon barrel notes are a little subdued for something that's been in the barrel for 15 months. That's the only thing that I'm going to say derogatory about the beer. The bourbon notes are there, but they're very subdued. Nice caramel, toffee, molasses, nice sweetness to the beer, very reminiscent of a barley wine. I am getting a slight hint of some nuttiness in there, maybe some hints of some dark fruit. It is a very pleasant beer. I did enjoy this. Don't think it's an outstanding world-class beer, but I do appreciate those guys at Tommyknocker for putting a month and a year, the IBUs and the ABV on the label where you can read it. Very nice. I do appreciate that. And that goes a long way with me, guys. It does. Y'all know I'm a date Nazi and want to see that, and these guys have done it well. Not some kind of stamped ink that you can't read on the bottle. Very nicely done. I do appreciate that. And that, like I said, it carries a little weight with me. Bottle chug. Nice aroma on this beer. It is a very pleasant beer. A great final beer of the evening, which it is for me. Bottle chug. Now that it's warmed up a little bit, I am getting a little bit more of the bourbon notes, but it's still not off the chain, taking up the whole front seat as far as bourbon goes in it. Very balanced beer. Can't leave that. If you don't like a bourbon barrel aged beer that's got that huge up in your face, slapping you upside the head bourbon barrel notes, this is a good one here. Everything seems to be blended very well and comes together very well. Nothing is overpowering the other. A nice bourbon barrel aged Imperial nut brown. The nuttiness, the roasted malt, the hints of caramel, toffee, molasses, and hints of dark fruit are all there. Nothing is overpowering anything else. Very nice beer. Everything has come together very well at this stage of the aging. Like I said, it was done in May, and this is February, so June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. 9 months in the bottle. Very nice, very nice. Guys, I do think it's an A beer. Like I said, I don't think it's an outstanding beer. I'm going to give this 8, which is A minus, 93 from me on this one. Very nice. Nate, thanks again, my brother. I do appreciate it, sir. Over to Beer Advocate, they say, not enough people have commented, which is very unusual, something that's been in the bottle this long already. Maybe the wax and the price of this beer has turned some people off. I don't know what the distribution is for Tommyknocker. I have seen them here, so I know they are distributing further than the brewery because haven't seen this one, but I have seen some of their beers here in Virginia. So very unusual for me not to have a rating from Beer Advocate or rate beer even one on this particular version. So Nate, you may put in the comments what this beer costs. That may be the biggest off-putting factor for somebody buying this beer if it's a $20 or $25 bottle of beer. That would be my only reason to say why there are no ratings on these two sites for this beer. And for our final check-in, we'll run over to Untapped. Untapped has it at 3.97, which is in their A category, bottom end of their A category. So it is an A beer. For the ratings we got from Untapped and from me, I do think it's an A beer, guys. Very nice. A great final beer of the evening for me. A nice one to sip on with your significant other or girlfriend or close friends. That'd be a nice one to pass around or pour somebody a little bit in each glass. The other half liked it. She did enjoy this. She thought it was very tasty. It is a good beer. It is. So I'm going to leave it there. If you've had this one from Tommyknocker Brewing, this is their barrel-aged Imperial Nut Brown Ale. 9%. All the information you want on the label is there, guys. Everything is there. So, like 2 thumbs up, like I said, 2 thumbs up to those guys for putting that information on the beer. That carried a long way with me. If it didn't have that information on it, it would probably be down in the B category. But with that being on there and being as blended as well as it is, and everything has come together very nicely, very tasty. So if you've had it, let me know what you think, guys, and come on back tomorrow. Let's take something out of the fridge. See you then.